So I get a lot of DMs and remarks about my ads and how I'm always on the feed of people. It's because I test ads and I have a system, not even like one, I have like 1,000 systems to get them done. Okay, there's some mental systems, these are software systems, also just workflows. Okay, so in this video I want to break down one of the newer ones, which I think is super exciting, because it just opened up, you know, and this is sexy and fancy, so I'm gonna share it right as I figure it out. I used it for this new script that I do for recruiting. I want to recruit basically entrepreneur types so that I can scale faster and get leaders into the company. A company is only as good as the leaders are. So either way, I've been procrastinating on it. So today I sat down and figured out how to visualize all the, you know, script points without really needing to animate everything. And
what is the logical consequence to having a service?
I am doing a pretty good job. Look at that scene.
Not as fun as making TikTok clips for gooners. My niche has zero competition and double the pay. I stumbled into this industry and...
That's straight out of Pixar, if you ask me. So if you run, you know, a B2B offer, if you have a coaching next to your e-com, or if you just plain and simple sell an e-com product that needs visuals in a consistent style that you need for your VSLs, this will be helpful. So you always have to think about what is the input that I can provide. So I have no shortage of like raw takes, and I have the scripts, and that's about it. You know, I can write scripts. So now I have to think about what is the resource that I need to make this happen. You know, it's the bridge resource. So final ads in the ad account, and what I can deliver as raw takes and the scripts that I write. Okay, so now the easiest thing that I could do is just bang a bunch of visuals over an ad, put the subtitles on top, and launch it, which I usually do. Of course, I do a few nuances, like the Mickey Mouse gag in the beginning, or the music. I like to pick music. But in the end, 80% of the time is the footage and the B-rolls and the visuals on top. So yeah, let me get into it. So what you would usually do is you find B-roll in the internet, or you try to generate something with ChatGPT, and then, you know, kind of prompt it, adjust it to make it right. If you know, already use AI. But something that I found is way easier is you can just go onto an inspo. Usually it just hits you in the feed, but for example, I like this guy's style. I screenshotted this reel. Like every third frame, I started screenshotting it on reels, to see if I can do something similar with AI. And you know, then I thought about, oh, you can just copy any style, really. Like I started doing this, you know, this like blue-orange 3D motion graphic style a lot, you know, because you have to have a style that draws through the video, otherwise it just seems chaotic. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to collect a swipe file of a style and where to get it other than real people, real designers. Yum. You can also go on to Atria or Foreplay or Magic Brief and just collect inspo screenshots. But I'm going to try it like this so I can run into problems and teach you the ways. So we have this reel. Do I like it? A bit too much UI elements. It's just a short thing. Okay, let's just take this one. Oops. Go to Snap Save and try feeding the video instead of the screenshots. So we're gonna go to Gemini because Gemini is my new best friend. Okay, I ended my friendship with ChatGPT and now Gemini is it. Okay, Gemini is awesome. Since Gemini 3, I've been only using that one. So let's think, and we're gonna say something like, "This is a video I really like the style of. Act as a designer and create a master prompt for the visual design of this. The goal is to use, and this is how I structure the prompt. I just, explain to him what's happening, add the context, the role. Then I state the mission, create a master prompt for the visual design of style. So the goal is to attach it to any scene and get, is that the goal? Yeah, I think I would go for the master prompt first so we can test it quicker. So the goal is to attach it to any scene and get a any scene description, because that's the rule of the minimal input. I have to say something like Nemo swimming in the sea, and then basically prompt. And the frame has to be fully stylized. That is the goal, because otherwise I have to kind of like fill in different words inside the script. Some people do JSON prompts. I don't really like that, because then you have to do each frame singularly, like one by one, and then change the huge prompt. I really don't like that. But yeah, the goal is to attach any scene description and get a final visual from Nanobanana. We're going to use Nanobanana. It's high fidelity, very nice, and it gets the views. Trendy. Nemo swimming in the sea, prompt. Perfect result. Okay, keep in mind it's your goal to generate the main frame. And then the last thing in the prompt, only output the master prompt. And now we wait for him to think. Okay, so we have the master prompt. It took like less than I expected, like 30 seconds or something. What I don't like about it is that it doesn't have any thought reasoning behind design, but we'll make that in a second step. What I want to show you is that if we now go to Nanobanana and we say something like, Nemo swimming in the sea, and attach the prompt, text to image. You can use Nanobanana pretty much anywhere. I just googled it, but my favorite tool to use it is FalAI, because it just has all the models, and I kind of like it. It has this developer style. I'm a tech person at heart, and you can you have all the things, and it gets you the API rates. So this is like 15 cents per image. It's very transparent about it, and you don't need a subscription. It just tops up whenever you're out of credits. Every time I fall below $5, it just adds 50. I really like it, because no other tool that I know of, maybe Hugging Face, no other tool that I know of, suggests that. So now we have like clean cinema 4D type 3D visuals, which is great. I would also now go back and then see what I find. I think like the text is bad. Make sure it doesn't include text unless it's part of the scenery. Any other criticisms? Other than that, it was pretty nice. Also pick up on the cool iOS elements that he does. Yeah, that's something. I want to really have this minimalist, expensive Apple style type. And then I'm going to show you how to animate those as well. So it's now going to adjust the master prompt, and what we're going to do is test it again, see if it gets better. but you basically need this like word stem of keywords, a bunch of keywords first. So, okay. So now it has to think, it gets clear on the mission. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that for a new script. But now we make sure that this fits our goals. The second step would be to also make them come up with the ideas. Okay, so why are we doing that? It's because you won't always have the time to think visually, to sit down and make these frames. So if you can make an AI think like you think, that's good. That's good. Both are nice. I like it. Okay, so this is our keyword thingy. I always have a note, like my dump note in Apple Notes, but I don't want to pull it in. But just know that, because of confidential information inside. But if you draw your mouse into the right corner, bottom right corner, it pops up like a temporary note. You can paste all the stuff inside. I use it like a second copy paste bar almost. But yeah, I would put that inside. And now we go into here and say, now create a system prompt that, let me cook. Okay, now create a system prompt that turns any script into visual ideas, into smart and clear visual ideas supporting the arguments and points made in the script. Remember, do we have a role here? What is his job? Great. Switch to acting as a... we already said designer. As a creative director. It's a bit closer. Create a system prompt that turns any script into... that explains the visual style of the video I shared and turns any style, more sort of thinking behind the video I shared and turns any script into smart and clear visual supporting the arguments and points made in the script. Make sure you... any clarifications or context? The system prompt should expect me to paste the script afterwards. And let's see what it cooks up. Something else that I would like to add is like the script has to have enough visuals for you to create B-roll, so one shot every 5 seconds or so. So that means the script should, or the guide should also which sentences need visuals and which don't. Okay. Unless this is already nice. We need one B-roll and one animation every like 5 seconds. Okay, it looks nice already. It looks nice so far. But this is how I use the LLM, I'm really more of a vibe prompter by now, but I really like making Gemini think of the prompts. This makes me a better prompt engineer, and I also have to state what I want very accurately. But this way we can systemize stuff. And we can build our prompt database. Okay, now we have this, we paste it into a little node. And now we go into something like, let's try Claude. Let's it's not Claude. Claude is pretty nice, super nice, and it's also a bit creative. Like it has better humor a bit, but in the end it's unnecessary or irrelevant what LLM use. I usually refer to Gemini. Notice that Gemini is just smarter. It's not funnier. Claude is pretty funny, as I've been teaching. Now let's take this new script that I wrote at the Fort on a train, and I'm not going to only post the recruiting ads today. I'm also going to post these ads today, because why not? I'm kind of the guy to do that. So I'm going to call it script, hooks, body. And now we're going to see what it does. I've been told Opus is super nice from the vibe coding community. Let's see if it's also original. Well, why not? We never know what is inside the LLMs. We can only hope for it. But you can also do that totally in Gemini. I would just start a new chat and then say, whoop, same thing. Oh, I think I didn't finish writing the script, but I'm gonna get visuals either way. So neo-digital collage. So we have to make sure that the prompt only outputs the. Do we? So normally I like to give instructions to only output the prompts that we then can copy and paste. This makes sense if you are trying to systematize the hell out of it. This is okay, it's kind of okay. So so now I would go with this prompt. I would go in here and paste it. Now, not that you think this is complex. This is the prompt that we just pasted from Claude. This is our master prompt for the style. And now we go into here and we see if this gets us relevant B-rolls for the script I'm gonna test later. It's midnight already, but I've never backed down from a challenge. Okay, should be pretty reasonable. And then I can also show you the last step. Let's maybe finish the script. It would be productive. Editor, resume requirements. Phew! He cooked with this one. Isn't that crazy? Oh, what a great time to be alive. Amazing. I don't know what line it saw in that, but I can see it working. Yeah, it's about the usual TikTok ripped content not working anymore, so that makes sense. So I'm going to show you another thing. So now we're going to go into Flow for the visuals, and we're going to open a new project. We use Flow a lot, like VO 3.1 in general. But we're going to go in here, and we're going to say something like, let's say, motion graphics, TikTok rip script. And we're going to upload a frame. This one. Vertical, and then the thing here is, it's really easy to prompt the videos. Really easy. View is not the cheapest version, but it's the best one. It's really the best one. But we can just say, plan breaks and server shuts down or planning board breaks and server shuts down. Motion graphics animation. I would always categorize. That's the only thing I would say to video prompting. You should only categorize the type of motion or video you want to expect. So I'm always including motion graphics animation, just to make sure that it gets it. And usually go for 2 prompts. Usually it gives you another shot. I'm pretty confident it will look good, so I don't need it really. Look at me getting destroyed in a second. VO 3.1 fast is totally for the work we're trying to do. super high fidelity, good looks, and it's also fast to use, super fast to use. Because you're gonna get crazy if you're trying to animate a whole script and the videos take like longer than a minute or 2 minutes. I've been told it loses your focus. So that means, you know, some of my editors sometimes complain when they have too many tabs open because they switch back and forth, and then I forget they had something rendering in the first one. So that means, like, I feel like that's the main bottleneck for people creating AI videos, like switching around and stuff. But that's why you have editors, right? So let's have a look. As I said, this workflow goes pretty hard. So and then, of course, in the editing software, I would go into here, and I would start here. I would put it to 150% speed, it's like 50% faster than usual, because then it doesn't look as, you know, slow or AI. But you know, that's a workflow that you can totally pull off super easily. Of course, this is the manual way. I also have an automatic way of solving that and creating these visuals from the script, because remember what I talked about in the beginning about minimal inputs? I always have a script, I never have the time to make visuals. So that means I have to find a way to get the script into life. And this is where this workflow comes in handy, because I still need to edit this stuff myself. People love my editing. But the thing is, the script is the optimal input for me, because if then I can put it into something, it generates the entire thing. That sounds pretty handy to me. So I built something that first, you know, I kind of built the workflow around today a lot. But basically, it takes the script, it puts it into different ideas, just like we did in Claude, and then it automatically splits the prompts, puts it into a text iterator thingy, generates Nanobanana, moves them into VO3 or Kling. But what I've noticed is that the automatic way comes back with like worse B-rolls. So I just landed on this one, where you have the Nanobanana Pro, and that gives back the frames. You animate them yourself, this is the sweet spot. And the outputs I've been building for this recruiting script I'm doing are pretty nice, pretty nice visuals. And they all came from copy-pasting the prompt, copy-pasting the script. So let me show you. And now it's gonna take about like 2 minutes, and it gives me all the frames that I just then copy into Veo, animate with the simplest prompts possible, and then throw into my Premiere Pro timeline just like this, and I'm done within an hour. This is super nice and practical. If you want to know how to build these automatic workflows, where you can just plug and play the manual workflows and let it run itself, watch my last video. If you want to just download that template and run it whenever you want to, I have a template link in my course. So on each lesson you see what it is for, a short walkthrough, and a template link which you can click on and then download the entire workflow that is here, and then use it on your own time and responsibility as much as you want to. Let's get back to these ones. It gave me some pretty nice visuals here. Look, the competitors are climbing up the mountain. Bang, meta algorithm destroying copy. Bad guy destroying all copies that want to pass into the door. Yeah, this is in my current ad style. Obviously, you can also switch out the style that you're going for in the script workflow in this field. So you just put in your master prompt. Oh no, just put in your master prompt in this field here, and this one is the one that gets you all the ideas from the script itself. And there we have it. That is the next animation. Ready for shipment. Awesome. So yeah, that is how I usually create my B2B ads at the moment. Super easy to churn them out, and the animations are crank.
There's no industry more saturated with clippers who will do more videos for less.